and YouTube at the same time. All right, so what's up, family? The question I have this evening is I'm getting married, but do I have a wedding or do we purchase a home? Now, look, first and foremost, if this is you, I want to say congratulations to you and your spouse. Wedding and marriage is a beautiful thing, right? But I'm going to give you my experience and what we decided to do. First and foremost, as we know, marriage is an investment. If we look on social media, we see what's going on. We understand that marriage is an investment. It can be a good investment or a bad investment, but it's definitely an investment. And so to answer the question, right, I have to give you my perspective on should we get married or should we have a wedding or should we purchase a home? So I can give you my perspective on what we did 12 years ago. We was faced with the exact same thing. When I got engaged, we was faced with the exact same question. Should we have this wedding or should we invest and purchase a home? Well, at the time, we was looking at a budget of $30,000 for our wedding. Of course, fellas, we always got to get the permission from the wife. We got to let the wife make this decision, all right? You can have the discussion about it, but you got to let the wife make the decision, all right? My man, Josh said, mortgage guy here, married for over 20 years. Do the wedding, buy the house later. Oh, you can buy the house later. She still remember that wedding forever. Your opinion. All right, great opinion. So in my situation, right, what we was doing, we was going through the list of names. I had a crazy list of names. She had a crazy list of names. And of course, you know, when you go to these wedding venues, it's per person. So we was looking at what the bill was going to be that we was expecting. We was, you know, getting around like the 40,000. We had a budget for 30, but we was looking at like 40,000 plus. And then so we start going and we start, you know, okay, I haven't seen this person in a while. Let's scratch this person. Haven't talked to this person, you know. And we start reducing our list down. And when we got down to like a reasonable amount of people on our list, you know, I just asked my wife, I said, you know, do you think we should just wait to have the wedding later and just take this money? Because 30,000, like we probably gonna end up spending like 40,000 and we may not see majority of these people again, right? After the wedding. So, man, my wife sat on it. And after she went and she reduced her list down some more, she came back and we still did not get to our $30,000 budget. So she came back and she said, you know what? Let's use the money to buy investment property. So boom. So I didn't have to make the decision. She helped make the decision for me. And so of course I was down for it. So we ended up buying an investment property, went to the courthouse, got married. And now this was 12 years ago. To this day, we still have not had a wedding. But let me first of all, I want to say this. This is leading up to, we have our From Rent to Wealth homebuyer workshop coming up on Saturday, January 31st from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. in Orlando, Florida. And this is leading up to that because this is what I want to say. We went and invested and bought a property, right? One of the properties we bought, she bought one in her name, and I took some of them funds. I bought one in my name. Now, we kept those properties for 6 years. In 6 years, we was able to sell those properties and make over $500,000 in 6 years. Now, 12 years ago, we bought those properties. We bought one for $121,000. We bought the other one for like 113 or 112, 112,000. Both was townhouses. 6 years later, we sold those properties and made over $500,000. Now, this will be my question for anybody who's having a tough time making a decision over this scenario. If you can save $100,000 or more within 6 years, all right, and that's just working your job and just regular saving and doing what you're doing right now, cool, have the wedding. But if you cannot save $100,000 or more within 6 years, I'm gonna say then you don't have the wedding and you purchase the real estate investment first, right? And Because, see, at the workshop on January 31st, from rent to wealth, I'm going to be breaking down exactly how we were able to make over 500,000 and how that 500,000 was able to help fund our portfolio that produces now over $30,000 a month. And so if you're not in position right now to save at least $100,000 over the next 6 years, then you have to make a better financial decision and buy the investment property over getting married. I mean, not over getting married, but over having a wedding. And as I've started out by saying, a marriage is an investment, and your investment partner, which is your wife, should help you make a great financial decision when it comes to, should we invest in a wedding or should we invest in real estate? Now, I can honestly say we can go and have a wedding anytime we would like because a real estate portfolio is paying for it. But at the time, it was hard for us to save $100,000 in 6 years, much less, you know, how long it took me to save $30,000 after I, bought my wife the ring and to save money for the wedding. So it was a better investment. It's a better investment and financial decision to be able to go and invest. Now, I'm not saying go and buy your dream home. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying go and buy an investment property. And now what I mentioned back before, what we did, I bought a property in my name. She bought a property in her name. Now, to bring you back a little bit from where we were, I had a property already. She had a property already. So we wasn't homeless or we wasn't renting at the time. So we was already in the properties. But we decided to take that investment money, take that money and invest more into properties to allow our portfolio to grow. Now, there's a lot of other benefits, right, to purchasing real estate and making the right investments. And if anybody on the call have an 800 plus credit score or don't have an 800 or better credit score, then you should definitely come to our From Rent to Wealth workshop on Saturday, January 31st, because I'll be breaking down exactly how a real estate investment, right, can secure your actual credit, right, your actual credit profile, which is the mortgage on your credit profile is one of the most solid trade lines you can have on your credit profile. So if anybody's struggling to get into the 800 credit score, which once you get to the 800 credit score, I can tell you right now, you really don't need income to do any more investments. You can literally walk in the bank and you can get cash. Yeah, in most cases, they won't ask for income. They're going to check your credit and it's going to be all stated. But again, you got to have a solid credit profile. Most people who don't own a home, they don't have a solid credit profile. And so that is, again, one of the bases to your credit profile. And I'm going to be again breaking down all the reasons why you need the home on your credit profile, and also all the other benefits that it translates into when it comes to investing, getting access to cash, getting lines of credit, and so forth, and so many other options that you have once you, one, have a home with equity, and two, once you have a strong credit profile. Look, if you haven't already, please make sure you go and register for the Rent to Wealth home buyer workshop that we have coming up. All right, you can comment R2W below. I'll send you the direct link for you to go ahead and register. But look, give me your thoughts. What do you think? Right, in today's market, interest rates are high, rental rates are high. But interest rates are coming down. What do you think? Do you think it's a great time to have the wedding first, buy a home later? I know a couple of people said, hey, have the wedding, the wife remember that forever. But hey, the more and more I check on social media, man, it's a lot of ex-wives out there. All right, it's a lot of ex-wives out there. They might remember that forever, but you're gonna pay for it forever too. With the amount of money and investments, opportunities that may have missed. But look, leave your comments below. What do you think? From getting married now, it's quite a few clients that I've consulted in the last couple weeks, and they have goals of getting married this year and buying a house later. What do you think? You think they should have the wedding first, buy the house later, or buy the house now, have the wedding later? Leave your comments below.